Well, welcome everyone to the holiday end of the year meeting of the Southern Fried DNN User Group. We are thrilled to finish out the year where we've done a lot of work within DNN, worked on all of our websites, helped talk with you and with each other to share tips and tricks and DNN suggestions. And we have been blessed to have an active year where there's been so much going on. We've had DNN User Group conference or DNN Community conference and DNN Summit back at the beginning of the year. There's been an international DNN Connect. We've had multiple release versions of DNN. We have had multiple meetings here of SoFri where we've had a lot of different folks present new information to us, tips on using AI and ChatGPT to help us with advertisements and Google Analytics. And we've shared all kinds of different times together. And it's a good way to end the year where we kind of do something a little more relaxed and have a little more fun in what we normally do a game show at the end of the year. We began those game shows early on with DNN Jeopardy. We later moved on. Right, we've done two or three SoFri DNN Jeopardies, but they've also been done at the DNN user conferences as well. So this is about the fifth or sixth iteration of doing a DNN Jeopardy. We've also done a Family Feud. We've done a few $10,000 pyramids. We have a lot of fun with these game shows. So I hope that everybody has a good time here tonight. That is the point. But as we get started, like we do with every Southern Fried meeting, let's start by talking about information from within the community and talk about some of the things that have been happening online and within DNN recently. I'm going to kind of go backwards through this because many of these are newer postings in the dnncommunity.org website. And one of the the last month of the year here, there's been a lot of different articles posting up, and I won't go into each one of them directly, but I did want to mention or talk about a few of them. First off, we had just a few hours ago post an announcement for a Christmas gift to the DNN community that my mispronunciation from a while ago of Tycho, but Tico just missed the opportunity to call these DNN tokens, maybe put a name in there. That would have been amusing. But he outlines here that they are going to put together an open source community version of DNN tokens. There are plenty of us who use tokens in different scenarios within DNN. There's certainly a Mandeep's option for tokens. There's a DNN Sharp option for tokens. There are plenty of modules that use tokens within them inside of their different modules. But this is an opportunity for a new kind of global token system. And there's a lot of information about this here that I wanted to call attention to, have people read this. But currently, they have a set of sponsors who are helping make this happen, both at 40 Fingers and Easy DNN, as well as their digital agency. But they are saying, you can also pitch in and sponsor as well. So if working within tokens is something that's important to you and you'd be interested in helping support an open source kind of community created and donated by people who love DNN and want to give back to it, you can give back to them and help support them. Even if you can't code, you can pay a little bit to help support. So there's a good article talking about this that was just released a few minutes ago before the meeting.
Ryan, how cool is that? I had not even seen that. That's a great sign of community and just working together to achieve some, fill some need or something. That's really encouraging to see. I'm gonna have to reach out and maybe interview them or something and
I
see what
think
that's
that'd be
all
very
about.
nice.
It's
It
very cool.
feels like something we should have on. We will grab them and pull them into a future SoFri meeting.
That's a great idea. Yeah, let's get them to present their progress.
100%. Um, one of one of the things that I was going to mention about this as we kind of talked about, because we often talk about community and all pitching in to do what we can. And sometimes when there is a volunteer mentality or a volunteer organization, people will sit on the sidelines or they will wait to be asked to do something, or they will wait to be asked to participate. And this is an example where they felt there was a need. They saw there was a need and they wanted to jump in and take some action to do something. So they could have done this as another module for corporate sale. They could have done this and kept it to themselves, but they decided this was something they wanted to put into the community. And for that, they should be thanked and applauded. But I think it's a good guide for everyone that if there's something that you think needs doing and you see it and you have an idea, jump in and ask for help as you're moving along the way. Don't wait to get started with it. This is a good example of something that they just are declaring is happening. And I think that's a great approach that people can get behind, and you'll hopefully see good DNN community support following right along behind. David, you wrote an article that was posted just a few days back, and it was a what to expect primer for the upcoming DNN Summit. So this is a good opportunity for me to talk about DNN Summit 2025 and what is coming up for that very first few days in February. Do you want to talk just for a minute about the article, and then I'll bring up the website as well?
Yeah, there's actually two articles out there. One's more in
Sure.
depth of leading into it and what it's all about. And this one's more of a video recap on
Mm-hmm.
this. So feel free to go out and take a look at the video there. It's just really kind of helping people. I mean, it may be stating the obvious for, old timers, but it's a great event. I'm looking forward to being back in person. I mean, my gosh, it's been so long. So it'll be really great to see everybody and do that. So, encourage you to participate one way or another, either in person or virtual.
That is right. And that's a good opportunity for me to bring up the website and to mention that really at this point at the end of the year, one of the things that we as organizers for a community event like this can really appreciate is seeing registrations. That inevitably many of the registrations happen in January and they happen towards the end of January for the beginning of February as an event. But it can really help us with planning out rooms that are being reserved, meals that are being proposed and paid for, after dark activities, and some of the fun things that we're doing. Even if we don't have room registrations, if we can have ticket registrations, it makes all the world of difference for the planning here at the end of the year. So if we haven't said it regularly, please, please, please register. Don't wait until January. Get it onto this year's taxes. Pay for it now. Go ahead and book those tickets. Remember, too, that you are welcome. We'll be thrilled to have you come join us in Las Vegas and do that as an in-person event. But also remember that this is a virtual event and it's going to be a hybrid. We're going to be recording and presenting the same sessions, the same speakers, the same sessions are going to be live on the Hopin platform as well. So the same system that we've used for the past several years for virtual only will also still be present. So at this point, registering for your tickets and getting those purchased would really help us with organization and planning of what's coming up. Even with the room blocks, they're being held for a period of time and then they're going to be released. So that's the next thing to mention is that, please stay in the same hotel. Those room blocks count towards the costs that we have to pay for putting on the event at that hotel location. So everyone who books a room there is also helping support the event. The room blocks are for individual suites, but really anywhere in the hotel, if you mention to them that you're a part of the conference, they'll give us the credit for it. For instance, my company, we're going to be renting a suite for a larger group of us coming, and we'll be putting that to the DNN Summit room blocks. I think that's about it. David, anything else we want to mention about DNN Summit? I'm sure we'll talk about it more in January, obviously, but
Yeah, I think there's some more content that's scheduled to go out over the coming weeks as well. So just kind of stay tuned and you'll get some more information. Anything that anybody can do to help spread the word as well, that would be super helpful. It really, you can't talk about it enough. We all know what's going on here in this group probably, but not the rest of the world. So if you can, even like a post on Facebook or share it on Facebook or on Twitter or X or whatever it is, or comment on a blog post or share a YouTube video or something like that, anything to
yep,
expand the reach to your audience, that would be great.
absolutely.
Clients, letting them know about the event, sending them links to the blogs and stuff like that, that would be it'd be helpful.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, then we've had Daniel join us as well. One of the things, oh, well, actually, let me
Hey,
jump back
Ryan, I
to
have one thing too. If you're getting ready to jump into the DNN
uh,
release, I've got the DNN Connect thing to talk about too, 'cause something came out today on that. I just remembered.
go ahead and hit DNN Connect. And then I realized I have more articles that I wanted to point out for DNN Community. I'll do that in a second.
Tell you what, if you don't mind, I'll
Go after.
grab your screen there real quick, and I will share the actual email that came
Go for it. Yep.
from DNN Connect here. Hopefully everybody's seeing that okay. But this just came out today. If you're registered on their site, you should have gotten this. But if you didn't, they have given some more details on the upcoming event in May in Girona, Spain. And they've got the call for speakers out, so you can actually go ahead and submit a session idea there to be in consideration, as well as sponsorship opportunities are trying to be solidified. As Ryan was mentioning regarding DNN Summit, DNN Connect's in the same situation just across the pond. There's a lot that goes into planning these in-person events, and there's a lot of expenses associated with them. So anytime that you can support in some shape, form, or fashion for these events through sponsorships or just attending them is fantastic, and it really helps the organizers to have those things in place sooner rather than later at the last minute. So it kind of helps plan for a better event for everybody as well. So just wanted to kind of point those out. If you did not get this email, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to forward it to you and you can get on the subscription list. But kind of exciting to see things starting to come together there. And I'll kind of make the tie-in here as well to what Ryan was talking about with Tiho and Stefan and some of the others that are the Demir that are doing the tokens thing. That actually came as a direct result of a DNN Connect event where there was a session. They've done it for 2 years in a row now, where basically you throw a bunch of ideas up on the board and people vote on them and they actually kind of commit to looking into those and kind of own those things. And I think that actually came out of one of
Came out of
those
it.
sessions there. And it's
Ah,
we've seen several things happen like that. And I mean, honestly, just call me wrong, and because I can't stand those sessions. They're chaotic to me, but that's just because of my personality flaws, right? So it's like just pure chaos. But there's some really good things that come out of those, and so it'd be nice to see you at one of these events, and it's a great opportunity to go to Spain.
mhm, mhm. All right.
And I'll
Well,
turn it back over to you there
bring
now.
back that share.
Sorry to interject there, but I
No,
saw
it's
that come up
fantastic.
today.
Fantastic. Well, I had a few more articles that I wanted to call attention to. And then Daniel, if you're up for it in a moment, I'll pass it to you to talk a little bit about the points of the new release. But since our last SoFri meeting, we had a few more articles that were posted, and I wanted to spend a second or two talking about them. One, Alex put out an article about kind of a primer for DNN portals and portal groups, and talking about the pros and cons of what happens between having elements within portal groups and having individual things, subportals versus primary domain level portals. And I have explained that plenty of times to customers as they understand what they can do within their DNN instances. And I love the way that he approached this. This is a great primer that can be given to anybody who wants to understand the pros and cons there. I would say primarily for portals, but for portal groups and that primary element of DNN, which is somewhat a unique element of DNN as compared to other CMS systems that are out there. So I'm really glad that article was posted. There was another one that was posted by Michael that was a step-by-step article talking about creating a trusted certificate that you can use internally for servers when you need to have a self-signed certificate that isn't just a self-signed but ignored or rejected SSL certificate, but a self-signed one that is going to be an installed trusted certificate. And I love this. I think we could turn this into a Southern Fried session if we can get him. So did want to point out those things because they came up since our last meeting and are good articles. We have had a full release now of 9.13.7. And I think that David was mentioning there were some things that we want to talk about in that. And Daniel, you're on with us. Want to say a few words about the latest release?
So, since we last met, 3 releases came out, 9.13.5,
Right.
which had a couple little enhancements and then a bunch of dependency updates and small things like this. And as you can see, we have released like 3 in a row very quickly. So there was a small issue with some third-party modules that would read the DNN framework version. So we want to showcase, we're still on .NET framework, and that's not changing anytime soon, but we want to show that we have 4.8.1 if we can put it in the UI. So there was a change made for that. And it broke some third-party modules that were reading the version, because before that it would be only 2 digits, so just 4.8. So we quickly published. Thanks, Jeremy. We quickly published a 9.13.6. So as you can see, there's very little things there, but we keep on churning and updating dependencies with everything we can. But mainly 9.13.6 was that fix. And then due to one of the updates, there was a conflict of DLL versions with some third-party modules, and that's what 9.13.7 is about. So we're very active in responding to feedback, and 9.13.7, we got a lot of feedback that it was tested and working great. We didn't have that as much for .6 and .5. So if you want to get involved, you're not a developer, you just want to help and make sure you don't get into trouble, testing release candidates is really, really welcome, because there's a lot of different environments, there's a lot of third-party modules. So if you can grab a copy of production sites locally and try an upgrade, try a clean install, just whatever preference of communications you have, just say, hey, I've tested this, it works fine. Really, really helps. Or if you pinpoint any issues to know early, that's the purpose of release candidates. For minor versions like this, we usually do a week, so kind of need to be quick on it. If the middle number is bumped, so like let's say 9.14, then it's usually 2 weeks. And if it's a major release, it's at least 4 weeks for release candidates.
I'd also like to add that it's really important these get tested in the wild. The one that I bumped into with .5 was the fact that I didn't have any of my systems running .NET product version 4.8.0 anymore. So I did all my testing on 4.8.1,
Yeah, exactly.
and that revealed a bug that was fixed in .NET between 4.8.0 and 4.8.1, having to do with the formatting of the version, which I guess is a system type. Anyhow, it's just really interesting to me that if that had been tested more in the wild, somebody would have tested it
Across it.
with 4.8.0 on board, and we would have discovered it before releasing.
So
I had no way to see it, so not defending myself, but
Same here.
it
Yeah,
happened.
Yep.
So Jeremy, before we started up the meeting, you mentioned you just upgraded a bunch of DNN instances. Was it that you'd put them all to 9.13.7?
Yeah, I have 8 that I finished before this meeting started that went to 9.13.7 and to sexy 18.6.1, and all of them, they've been tested a little bit, but only
Smooth
5 of them are
upgrades.
client sites, but they're all completely up to date and working well.
All right. Well, then, at this point, I've wrapped up the community points that I wanted to mention. Does anyone else in the group have DNN community news or information that we should share that we've overlooked? We've also had Mitch Sellers join us, so a call out to Mitch if he wants to come on the microphone for a second and say hi. But does anyone have anything in the community that we want to bring up and mention real quick?
Just a reminder that tomorrow we'll have a co-coding session that Daniel runs on Discord starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. I know I'm planning on being there doing some stuff on DNN platform. I think Daniel's planning on being there as well. So we'd love to see others join if you want to just hang out and watch or jump in and actually code something.
All right.
And just show up and hang out, for gosh sake.
Also perfectly good.
Absolutely.
Well then, without further ado, let's play DNN Jeopardy. It is our end of the year tradition to play some type of DNN themed game, and we have Jeopardy here ready to play. We are going to play a Jeopardy game, and we're going to have 4 players. And this is going to be the buzzer mode. So in the system that I mentioned for some of you who were on earlier, we're going to send you a link or describe a link in a minute that you'll load up in your browser. We'll get you registered into the game, and you will be presented with a buzzer that you're able to buzz when you want to chime in with a question to the answer, as David corrected earlier. I encourage you to do it on your phone because it makes it really easy to tap, but you can certainly do it in another window compared to this screen share. But we'll go ahead and jump in. What you're going to be going to is playfactile.com/join. That's PLAY/FACTILE.com/join. I'll zoom in a little bit, make it a little touch larger. And you'll punch in the code 9743. When that happens, we will have our teams come in, and I'll spend a moment renaming the little icons that they give us, because we have pineapple and orange and grapefruit and things like that that are going to show up. We'll rename them with the right folks' names, and then we will be ready to begin the game. I believe I can type in here right now. So who do we have in already? Who's pineapple? That is Jim Peterson.
That's gonna be me.
Wait. So which
How do I
person?
know which one's me? Pineapple is grayed out for a name on mine.
Therefore, pineapple is you, Mark?
T-Rex.
Yes, that's me.
All right. T-Rex is Alessandra?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you would be a T-Rex.
Oh, I got to pick one. Okay.
Did I get drafted, Ryan? I can't
I
remember.
would love it if you'd play Steve
Oh,
with us.
sure. What the heck?
You chimed in, and so you're not off the hook. You're ready to go.
Lemon
Jim,
is
are you
me.
Lemon?
Yeah.
Now, for those folks watching the replay at home, you can jump forward just a couple of minutes and we'll be playing the game. It's fun to play at home or to watch this. When we do post this online, I'll also post the recordings of some of our previous years. You can always put those on at work or over the holidays to have fun shouting at the screen when people don't quite get the answer that you feel like would be obvious. That is the best part of it. So we have now Marco, Alessandra, Jim, and Steve ready to play. I'll go ahead and Marcus ready to play the game. And we will get started. I am going to do 2 pieces of house cleaning over here on my side.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
I have a little fellow here who wants to say hi to everyone.
Hey, big man. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I am doing well. You know, what's your son's name?
Santiago.
Santiago. Mucho gusto. So
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
one of my favorite things that I was talking with my family about tonight was that I was going to go have fun with my friends. And I was going to play a game online. We're going to have fun for the holidays. But I'm playing games with someone in Canada, someone potentially in Boston or New York. I'm in North Carolina here with David, and we have someone in Puerto Rico. So we have people all up and down the East Coast. We have people in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, and we are playing games online together. Santiago, when I was your age, this would have been science fiction. The idea that
he's gonna
we're playing together and having fun. We're using this telephone and internet system for goofing off and playing games. This is the best thing ever, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if we are ready to go, we will begin. I will introduce the categories, tell you a little bit about what we're going to be playing, and then we will dive right in. As I described, we have Steve, Jim, Alessandra, and Marco. So do each of you see your buzzers and you feel like you're in good shape with those?
Yep.
Thumbs up from folks? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
All right. 4 categories for DNN Jeopardy 2024. We have holiday movies. This is end of the year party. So we do have a little bit of holiday theme trivia to sprinkle in with our DNN related things. So holiday movies is simply holiday movies, no DNN connection in that theme. The next category is DNN potpourri. That is a mixture of DNN related questions of all types. Worldwide holiday trivia is a category of questions about holiday practices within the United States and around the world. What makes up a word is a new category this year that is questions and answers that all pertain to the elements dot, net, or nuke. Therefore, what makes up a word, dot, net, nuke? It is either a dot, a net, or a nuke. Interface in your face is a category that is our picture category. Within this, you will be given picture clues along with the description so that you can understand what section of the DNN interface we are talking about. And that is the answers in this category. Finally, common words is a bit of a unique category that I will describe a couple of times to make sure people get and understand how this works. In common words, elements of DNN or elements of the DNN interface or .NET Nuke as a name are combined together with other words to make a common everyday phrase or a common other word. And I'd like to start off with an example to tell you about this one. If as a clue or a statement, I was to give you for common words, if I was to give you the admin bar and panels in DNN plus not welcome. The admin bar and panels in DNN or and plus not welcome you might answer that the common word is persona non grata.
And that's the only one I'll know in the whole
It
game.
is a
I'm
combination of things, and we will have some fun with that category when we get
damn
into
it. Okay.
At this point, I'm going to ask for everyone on camera. We have, again, Marco, Alessandra, Jim, and Steve. Do me a favor, and what you're going to do is each of you is going to, in a second, hold up both hands and show me numbers. Show me numbers between 1 and 10, and the one of you that's closest to my number is going to be the one that we begin with for Jeopardy. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. What do we got? All right. My number is this. So we literally have a match there with Steve. Steve, we're going to let you start and take the board. Please choose a category, and then we will begin with our steps for DNN Jeopardy.
DNN Potpourri for 200.
200, jumping into the middle of the board with 200. The new concept theme projected for DNN 10 will be known by this name.
I should know that.
So should I.
I am so disappointed in everyone.
David is off camera, and he is just smacked.
Now we know how much we listen to David.
I literally helped create it.
David's starting to cry. Oh my God.
The new concept theme projected for DNN 10 will be known by this name. Does anyone want to give it a go?
I could give it a hint.
Yeah.
Is your hint veiled, Jeremy? Can it be a veiled hint? Is there one perhaps in the back of your room?
It might be a photo op.
It could be. I just didn't know.
That's a very good hint.
Like some kind of prop in the room that he might be able to.
What is shoot?
No. It's aperture.
Well done, Steve. You got to use that buzzer.
Yes.
But we're gonna give it. We're gonna give it to Steve after the fact.
Yes.
What is aperture?
Yeah.
Aperture is the name projected.
Sorry, Dave.
Too many syllables.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Steve, you did come through after the buzzer, but with the correct as a guess. Where would you like to go next?
Oh, this is gonna be tough. Common words for 300s.
In the middle. They get harder as they go down. You realize that?
Why people put the hard ones? Go to the easy ones.
To remind you of the way that this works, I will give you 2 portions of a phrase or a statement, and those go together to create a 2-word answer. One of those will be DNN themed or related, and the other one is a common word, and it creates a common word. So to begin with, number 300 is what you chose out of common words. Here we go. Our President Ulysses plus rights to view or edit. Lemon, go ahead, Jim.
Grant permissions.
Grant permission is correct. That is the way that category goes. Jim, where would you like to go next?
Let's do movies for 3.
Movies for 300 it is. In A Christmas Story, this escalated taunt causes a character to tongue touch the flagpole. Jim, again.
I double dog dare you.
I am sorry. Does anyone else want to wager an improved answer or question to that answer? While the double dog dare is discussed, the double dare and the double dog dare, but the triple dare is skipped directly over for the much more aggressive triple dog dare you. So we will put that next then to Steve. You still have control of the board, so we're going to put it back.
It's important to point out that it's the coup d'etat of dares.
It is the coup d'etat of dares. All right, Steve, you have the board. Where would you like to go?
Whoops, I still see the old one up there. Just
me too. Let's see. I said he didn't get it, so then I'm missing.
See answer up in the top corner.
I guess so. Yes. What is a triple dog dare and then I move to continue. All right, there we go.
Yes. Okay.
Steve.
What do we go easy? Holiday movies for 100.
Holiday movies for 100. The filming technique known as forced perspective allowed adult and child actors to appear tiny next to Will Ferrell. We're about to end this game show, and we're all going to go watch a movie.
So much for this being simple. My gosh.
The filming perspective.
How to
T-Rex,
make
Alessandra?
somebody look bigger and the other smaller?
What
Right?
movie?
Geez.
The name of this movie would be?
I can't remember
Elf.
the name of it.
Thank you. What is
Elf? Sorry,
Yes.
what is Elf?
From a manufacturing standpoint, a production standpoint, watch a YouTube video or a making of kind of special about Elf. It's delightful. There are scenes where Newhart is very far. He's being on the back of a big buddy riding a tricycle, and the way they filmed that is the child is 14 feet in front of Bob Newhart, and they are have other people's hands on his shoulders. It's absolutely delightful. Forced perspective is a very neat thing in cinema, real effects instead of CGI effects. Alessandra, you did name that one in the end. You have the board. Where do you want to go next?
I'll go DNN Potpourri for 100.
DNN Potpourri for 100. This is the location of 2025's DNN Summit Community Conference.
Las
T-Rex
Vegas.
was first.
Las Vegas.
That's correct. Las Vegas. We will all be having a.
What is Las Vegas? Where is Las Vegas?
We
Come on,
will
girl.
have a wonderful time in Las Vegas, and unlike their quiet promotions, we will tell lots of people about all the great DNN things that happen in Las Vegas. Where would you like to continue next?
Worldwide holiday trivia for 100.
Worldwide holiday trivia. During the holidays, this famous New York City landmark features Jim.
Oh,
It's a colossal
geez,
Christmas tree and popular ice skating rink.
Yep. Central Plaza.
No, I'm going to give it to Alessandra next.
Rockefeller Center.
Rockefeller Center. We would have also accepted Rockefeller Plaza.
Yeah.
That is correct. Okay, Alessandra, you have the board. You both have the highest score and you answered correctly most recently. So where do you want to go next?
Okay, I'm gonna try common words for 100.
Common words for 100. Sweets and confections plus the persona blank. Alessandra?
Chocolate bar?
No.
Candy bar.
We could, thank you. I was gonna say we could accept a chocolate bar, but we were looking for the more generic of sweets and confections. You said afterwards candy bar. So candy bar is what we're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, what is candy bar?
Thank you. We'll get more
Just kidding.
persnickety over the Jeopardy rules here in a few minutes. Would you like to proceed with common words or?
Yeah, let's go for 200 common words.
200. An aperture for light to enter, plus a DNN location for module placement. An aperture for light to enter, and a DNN location for module placement on a page.
I know the second part, but the first part is.
Last minute buzzers, anyone? Want to hazard a guess? Jim's down 100. He could go down 200.
Yeah, let's try it.
What do you got?
iPanel.
Interesting. Just to ask, how many things are called panels in DNN? But they are called panes.
No.
All right. So we have then
Window
what is a
pane.
window pane? A
Window.
window pane. An
Aperture for light to enter. Okay.
An
fair enough.
aperture for light and a pane. All right. Alessandra, you control the board. Where do you want to go?
Okay, interfacing a face for $100.
For 100?
Yeah.
Okay. Interface in your face. This is our first in the line of statements with pictures. So pay attention to the picture and see if you can provide for us the Jeopardy style question. You can see this fave icon within this location in the DNN interface. The fave icon. So we are looking for an area within the persona bar by name. Alessandra?
What is site settings?
What is site settings? This is definitely within the site settings, and it's your opportunity per portal to set a fave icon, and that can be multiple formats. Icon, JPEG.
Okay, so is that a chicken drum?
What?
From Southern Fried. Okay, I get it now. I get it now.
What is our user group? This is a drumstick on Southern
I thought it was
Fried.
like the default image there. I was like, what is that? I kept trying to guess, and I'm like, that is not the question. Okay.
The question was about the fave icon, and you did get that correct. All right. Well, where would you like to continue?
Common words for 400?
Common words for 400. To transport goods across distances, plus styles and theming applied directly to a module instance on a page. So the styles and themes that are not applied to a page or site-wide, but the styles and themes that are applied to the module instance on a page. Alessandra?
Travel container?
Yes, but we don't say travel container, but we might say
moving container.
Does anyone else want to pass a guess there? Jim?
Shipping container.
Shipping container is what we were looking for very specifically.
Really?
Because these are common words, I guess, in common enough English parley.
That's what
Jim, where would you like to go now?
Movies for 2.
Movies for 200. Holiday movies for 200. In 1988's Scrooged, Carol Kane hits Bill Murray with this object. Jim?
A toaster.
Oh, look, it's Toaster. One of my favorite 12-year-old Ryan absolutely loved that line.
Still do.
All right. Jim, what would you like next?
Let's do world trivia for 2.
World trivia for 200. This is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Alessandra.
Kalakawa, something, something.
Oh, you got to get a little closer than that. Try one more time.
Hawali? I heard the song like 2 days ago, and I was like,
does anyone else want to hazard a pronunciation guess?
Harikalak, blah, blah, blah. And there's like another 3 syllables like Kalikamaka.
Melekiliki maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. Melekiliki maka is Hawaii's way. Yes, Melekiliki maka will.
We should do a DNN karaoke. Just say you're not bad.
You know, we've mentioned at conferences a few times that we have people who play multiple musical instruments all coming together. We should have a jam session at a conference in the future.
Yeah, I could be very helpful because not only I don't play any instrument, but I also suck at singing. So it's gonna be great.
Well, we're gonna auto-tune your Melekiliki maka. And
oh yeah, yes, please do.
Alessandra, where do you want to go next for a question?
Okay. What makes up a word for 200?
For 200, what makes up a word? These are going to be questions that involve dot, net, or nuke. An amount that is left over after all costs and expenses have been taken away. Jim.
Net gain.
Net. I would take net profit, net income, net gain also counts as well. That is perfect. And that puts you in the lead, and you answered correctly. What would you like next, Jim?
Let's do word for 100.
What makes up a word for 100? This is also our daily double. Also known as a full stop in British English, this pronunciation mark is also known as the dot in .com. So we're looking for the name of the punctuation mark. Alessandra.
Oh, what is stop? I know it's full stop. Never mind.
Full stop is the British speak, which
yes, I was just concentrating on
more familiar with.
Ponto. There you go. I'll say Portuguese how much it is. Okay.
Okay.
What is ponto?
Jim had the buzzer in next. What was yours, Jim?
Period.
Period. What is the period?
As a woman, I should.
All right, Jim. Where would you like to go next?
In the words of Mitch, it would be period full stop.
Period full stop. Right.
Let's do in your face too.
In your face, interface in your face for 200. Where you will find portal information like this. You will find portal information like this in what location? Alessandra?
Site server.
You've used a couple of names there. If we're going to just call this persona
server. Servers?
No, it is not in the servers. It is not in the servers persona screen. Marco.
What is sites?
It is in the sites. That is the location for it. It is in the sites section of information for specific portals.
Yeah, I was not thinking about that section.
Users, the number of pages.
I was thinking about the other.
Yeah, the number of pages is part of it. You really wouldn't find that elsewhere other than in the sites. Marco, where would you like to go next? We have about half the board remaining.
Let's go DNN Potpourri by 300.
300. The Southern Fried DNN User Group was originally known by this more regional name.
Not.
Old time DNN, Southern Fried DNN users and members know we used to go by a different name. So the Southern Fried User Group was originally known by this regional name.
Come on, man. That's 300.
It's a 300 level question.
I'm next now.
Right. Does anyone want to hazard a guess? Otherwise, I will ask out to our peanut gallery to see if anyone there knows before we reveal.
I am so disappointed in everybody's DNN history knowledge.
Jeremy,
really? Does everybody know it?
Mitch chimed out, got onto the microphone. Mitch Sellers, what was the Southern Fried User Group known by previously?
Wasn't it Charlotte.net Nuke User Group?
Oh my gosh.
It is very close.
Disappointment.
Regional name. Jeremy, you got anything? Daniel, we were the Queen City DNN User Group. We were QC Dub.
Yay. DNN bells were not that far away from what this is, okay? Just saying.
Very, very, very close. Very close.
This was back in the day of Orlando Doug, Queen City Doug.
Doug.
Yep.
Yeah, well, O-Doug was easier to remember.
O-Doug.
O-Doug, QC Doug.
Yep. All right. At this point, we again have about half the board remaining. We have Steve. I'll go this way. Alessandra is bringing up the rear. We have Steve at 200 and Marco at 200. And we have Jim in the lead at 900. Jim, the board is yours. What would you like to choose?
Holiday trivia for 3.
Holiday trivia for 300. Popping tubes in the UK to hold gifts and small treats go by this explosive name. Alessandra?
Firecrackers. What is firecrackers?
I'm still going to
give
it.
Firecrackers?
I'm still going to give it to you. I am further.
You better. I lived in England for 8 years, and that's what they called it.
They are crackers. They are Christmas crackers. That is.
Yeah.
That is correct. Alessandra, where would you like to go next?
Ooh, I want to go for what makes up a word for $500.
Well, okay. What makes up a word for 500? Defined as a group or system of interconnected people or things This is one of the favorite activities of DNN community conferences. Alessandra?
What is network?
That is
Networking.
correct. What
Thought it
is
was
network?
drinking.
Even formed it in the phrase of a question perfectly. That was well done.
Waiting for somebody. What is waiting for
I
somebody
like-
to buy me a drink?
I like Jim's answer the best.
Yeah.
All right, Alessandra, where next?
Worldwide holiday trivia for 400.
Worldwide holiday trivia for 400. This instrumental Christmas time theme from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite was also used as music in the video game Tetris. Alessandra?
What is sugar plum?
That is correct. The dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy is the correct thing. That is the famous music of Tetris. Dun, 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 and if you're top of the screen, much, much faster than that. All right, Alessandra, that quickly puts you in the lead at 1100. What
Okay, so
category
I'll
would you like
go
to proceed?
for interface in your face for 300.
The daily double, you'll get bonus points on this one if you get it correct. This set of data is seen in what screen within the DNN interface? Jim.
What is the scheduler?
And apologize because this could be a couple of spots. This is not within the scheduler.
Would it be though?
It could be though, and I might have to consider that. I'll come back to David and ask for a question here real quick.
A rule out.
To see if we put it to the judges for a consideration. Let me back that up. This was for 600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because snap! This wasn't scheduler.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I took a
have to double
screenshot
that.
of the
It's
same
looking
thing.
so bad for you right now. Everybody be judging. Everybody be like, "Oh, is this what's running
I love
the
Alessandra.
awareness group?"
I took a same screenshot of the import-export screen, and I decided to switch and use the scheduler because it was more common than the import-export screen, in which you can see the start,
Start, end, and next.
and duration of the time that the export was running.
I
So
suddenly
this was
was feeling so
indeed
bad
the
about
persona schedule.
answering wrong questions there.
Okay, that still leaves you in the lead, Jim. What would you like to do next?
Don't I get points for getting it
Do
correct?
actually, I just brought you back up to not losing points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Corrections made. You are certainly in the lead.
Okay. Let's do what makes up a word for 3.
I'm sorry, you gave him too many dollars.
Did I? I did.
900 plus
I had
600
9,
is
so it's whatever it
1500.
was. Yeah.
That was also a daily double, though.
It was a daily double.
My,
Yeah.
my apologies.
So what makes up a word for 300? Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right, here we go with what makes up a word 300. A type of printer that uses a print head to strike an ink-soaked ribbon against paper to create images made up of a pattern of dots. Jim?
What is dot matrix?
What is a dot matrix printer? That is correct.
I knew the name of that word in Portuguese, not in English.
What is it called in Portuguese?
Impressora de pino, like pin printer.
Pin printer. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, where are we going to finish up with some of our harder levels of our questions?
Let's clear out word for 400.
So we're going to finish
Yeah,
up
yeah,
what
that
makes up a word for 400. Here we go. Gaining widespread popularity in the 80s, cooking with this device is described as nuking your food. Alessandra?
Microwave.
Which is a microwave oven. That is correct.
Yeah. It was even a question. Microwave?
Yeah, we're all above a certain age here, so
I was not doubting myself. It was the way I made the question.
We don't have questions around it. I remember my children asking me questions about it early on to understand, is there actually a nuclear reaction going on inside of a microwave? Why do we say nuke?
Yes. Do not put your head inside of the microwave. Yes.
Alessandra, what?
I'm
what-
gonna go for DNN Potpourri 400 and embarrass myself. Let's go.
Okay, we will see how we do. Integrations for third-party providers such as Azure Storage, Google Analytics, and the Google Tag Manager are in this type of item in DNN. Steve?
Connections? What are
That
connections?
is the connectors. That is correct.
He said connections.
Oh, I slurred. I slurred. Really?
I gave you something earlier, Alessandra. You have to be generous at Christmas.
Okay, yeah. I forgot. I had to get points with the man. Okay.
Steve,
You have to be
enough.
flexible with those Canadian accents.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Man, I cannot understand your accent. I hate people that talk with accents. It's so hard to understand them.
Yes. How about
Steve, what would you like next?
how about we finish off potpourri?
Potpourri for 500. DNN was born in this year. We mentioned it recently in several blogs.
And
We
Mike.
talked about how DNN had some anniversaries and was still fresh and new with every update. Marco?
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna give an answer.
Yes.
I'm gonna say 2003.
2003 is correct.
That
DNN
is
was
not
born.
correct.
Very good.
That is incorrect.
What?
Incorrect.
Hey,
Ryan,
hey,
you're gonna be fired.
mute, dude.
2002.
I was gonna say.
I thought it was
depending
Christmas Eve 2002.
It was.
Yeah, okay, good.
I was gonna say that depending
So
on what you're talking about,
disappointing.
I read 2003 and 2002.
Oh, I guess it was DNN the following year because I Buy Spy was 2002. Is that right,
No.
David? No, it was still
.NET
DNN?
Nuke was birthed on Christmas Eve of 2002.
Well, I
It
was
was
trying to backpedal,
previously Spy by Spy Workshop,
Right.
but
Okay.
that was before that. So
Okay, David, you can school me on it later. My my articles that I pull it from do talk about different versions, but we talk about the fact that the
well, you
modern-
technically said DNN, so that threw the whole thing for a loop because DNN didn't come until version 3. So
there we go. That's what we're talking about then. Maybe
Somebody
that's
has to
what we're
update
doing.
the Wikipedia
Because we're comparing
page.
it to WordMess and other CMSs that were all born in and around the same time period, but DNN came first.
and it didn't get
Yeah,
great
somebody's
until
gonna lose a
DNN
presenter
7.
job soon.
Oh, I don't know. I really loved DNN 5, and there are some
Ooh,
times that I go
no.
back to DNN 5.
Oh, DNN
sometimes.
5 was terrible for me.
it was the
It
best,
I had-
was so
the
fast.
fastest.
That's true.
Would you
But
say?
I had
David?
just understood themes and then they changed everything. It was fun.
David, what was your statement on it?
It was the fastest.
It was so fast to me. Everything was beautiful in DNN 5. Okay, Marco, you have the board for 2003, which I will call correct. What question would you like to move to next?
Okay, I'm gonna go by interface. In your face by
Interface
400.
in your face. 400. Here we go. You'll find this permissions on-off toggle in this DNN interface. Permissions on-off. You find permissions in many places, but it's unusual to find an on-off toggle for
I don't
permissions.
remember.
idea.
All right. I'll let anyone hazard a guess if they want to. Otherwise, we'll put it out to the peanut gallery next. All right. Jeremy, do you want to hazard a guess on what you think it is?
I actually have no clue.
If Joe Craig was here, he would know it. He uses that a lot. David, you know?
Muted.
This one is in the import-export
Oh,
screen. when you
that's
are
why
creating-
David did not know it. He hates that.
When you are creating an export, you have the option to include pages and sections of pages, users, modules. Other DNN elements are there as well, but you can choose whether or not permissions are going to be included or they're going to be not set at all when you use that import in the future. So this was also part of the reason why I switched, that this was a better, higher level point for the interface than our scheduler earlier. Okay, in the lead, Jim, you have the lead of the board with 1,800. What question would you like to answer?
Now let's do trivia for 5.
Worldwide trivia, closing out the category at 500. A witch drops presents down chimneys in this European country's Christmas traditions. A witch drops presents down chimneys in this country's traditions.
I have a hunch, but not enough to play.
Yeah.
In Argentina, not in the UK, but in Argentina, the very wise Papa Noel on his flying camel comes around to leave toys in everyone's wooden shoes outside of the door.
I was gonna say Brazil, we put our shoes in by the window because we don't have chimneys, it's too hot.
Makes so much more sense, so much more logical for Papa Noel to fly on his camels because, you know, he didn't have reindeer.
It's hot.
We did not have an answer. I'm going to put it to our 4 playing guests. First, does anyone want to hazard a guess? If so, hit that buzzer. If not, I'll put it back out to the peanut gallery. Dustin joined us. Hi, Dustin. Jeremy, do you have a guess? Want to hazard a guess for which?
I have a guess.
I already Googled it, so I'm not going to answer.
And it came
I want to say, I want to say Italy, but off the record.
Anyone want to hazard a guess for a witch who drops presents down the chimney in this European country's Christmas traditions?
It was brought up in the movie Red One, and I just saw it.
What is Italy? Italy has the tradition of a witch dropping presents.
I had a feeling for that, but not enough. That was like, I'm not gonna, no.
Okay. We did not have an answer in that one. So Steve, you still control the board. What question would you like to go into next?
How about common words 500?
Common words for 500. I feel like this new category is going well. Let's see how our last one goes. Thankful or welcoming plus a DNN super user account. Thankful or welcoming? Alessandra?
A warm host.
Thankful or welcoming, and that's not a phrase specifically. So you're down to 1,000. Does anyone else want to buzz in with an option for thankful or welcoming plus a DNN super user account? A common phrase or a common word.
Cannot be a hot host.
Steve?
So they do with a host, but I don't know.
All right. Anyone want to hazard a guess? Otherwise, we'll put it to our peanut gallery.
Thankful,
Jeremy, you're my
grateful host.
The answer is a gracious.
Gracious.
A gracious.
Gracious does not mean no. I will not accept that. That does not mean when I'm being gracious and not being clumsy, I'm not being warm and welcoming. I'm just not bumping on everything. I will.
There's something lost in translation there.
Jim, you still control the board, partly due to holding on to your credits from good guesses and not bad guesses. So, where would you like to go next?
Let's take care of interface.
Interface in your face. You'll find these settings within this section of the persona screens.
Man, you got too deep, man, for this one.
the points, as the points increase, the questions get harder. This is a rarely seen and rarely used corner of DNN. and the persona bar settings screens. So which section of screens will you find this icon and the word module categories?
That looks way under the hood for me.
I'm not gonna.
Someone's
I'm
logging
not
into
gonna.
their DNN to look over
I'm not,
what persona
I'm
bar
not
is.
gonna.
Heck yeah, I'm not
What'd you say,
guessing.
Marco?
I mean, I have a guess, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
I love my 700, so I'm not gonna do any.
Same reason here.
All right.
I don't
then.
want to go poor.
Jeremy, you want to tell them where it is?
Is it in the extension properties?
It is in the vocabulary.
Oh yeah, totally
section.
not gonna say that. I thought it was gonna be
Vocabularies.
on.
Very few reasons
and
for you to go in
extensions.
there under normal standard DNN instances, but there's a lot of data that can get saved there by different modules, by the core. If you are working within multiple types of modules, you can have variables here, wording here. There's a lot of different things that can go here. And we're not even getting into international languages and translations. It's used heavily.
Gee, it makes me think how many places I've never seen in DNN. Just by spending
I
so many
definitely
days.
never clicked that link.
Yeah.
What a great
Ever.
statement. All the places I've never been. I should go click in the corners of DNN.
Under
and
the
look and see
hood,
what's
as I
there.
said.
Jim, you have escaped unscathed, and we have 2 questions on the board left.
Let's do the
Holiday
4.
movies to finish out our DNN Jeopardy evening.
Let's do 4.
We're going to do 400. All right, here we go. Architecturally appealing Fox Plaza is better known as the Nakatomi Plaza in this holiday movie.
What is Die
Cassandra
Hard?
buzzed in first.
What is Die Hard?
What is Die Hard? That is correct.
It had to be.
Cassandra, final question goes to you and
Okay,
to everyone.
500.
Holiday
Okay.
movies for 500. Here we go.
All right.
This childhood injury kept George Bailey out of World War II. Jim.
Loss of hearing from going in the frozen lake.
That is correct. That's a bonus. You even gave the answers to why. He had an injury to his ear and he had loss of hearing from jumping into the ice lake
One
to
year.
save.
But
yeah.
which year, though?
Okay. So
Left there, I think.
What we need to do now is move to Final Jeopardy. Everyone on the board has funds with which to proceed forward to Final Jeopardy. I will ask the question in just a moment, and we need to see how much you're going to wager. So please go ahead and use the interface to enter in how much of your current winnings you would like to wager when we move into our Final Jeopardy statement.
We don't get the category?
The category is DNN.
That's pretty broad.
Is DNN. Yeah. And, I can tell you that as Jeopardy goes along, the questions get harder. So this is not going to be an easy item. And I think that you'll have to think about it for a few minutes. It's well suited to Final Jeopardy. We have all of our contestants wagering an amount. Let's see how they do pitted against this statement. Apart from the web.config file, name at least 3 other config files in the DNN root folder.
Wow.
So,
I wanted to cheat so bad. Just
aside from the web.config.
Wow.
Name at least 3 others. I can tell you there are 4. Name at least 3 other config files which are in the .NET root. DNN.
I cannot think of any. I cannot think of any now.
Alessandra, please. No.
I know one, but that's it.
Please take a moment now to write down your answers. All of you need to at least put in some guesses or some items. And if you do not know 3 config files in the root folder, if you have 2, then we will go with the person who has the most correct config
I
files.
use NV quick sites. I don't look at these bits. Okay.
What was in the chat there?
That's it.
Let's see. Oh, okay, Jeremy, thank you. I think you just posted it now. You said this is the correct level of hard question. That's the point. You need to spend some time. Jim, do you want to wrap up your answer? I would love to put these forward. While we're waiting for Jim's final answer, I will share my favorite memory from Jeopardy on TV of the TV show Cheers, of which Cliff Clavin finds his way on to an episode of Jeopardy. And he is doing really well with all of his postman knowledge and factoids that he just spits out as a character.
Yep.
And at the end of Final Jeopardy, it comes out 3 people's names, and they are people who he has no idea who they are. And it says, what is common among these 3 people? And everyone is filling things out. And Cliff Clavin's answer is, what are 3 people who've never been in my living room?
He's not
And
wrong.
then they have to take him off stage because he's kicking and screaming. And he's like, but that's correct. They've never been in my living room. All right. Let's move forward. I'm going to go starting with Steve. You have the lowest answer on the...
Start with me. Mine sucks.
Steve, you have the lowest points here. Perhaps you wagered a lot and you win a lot. Let's see what your answer is.
Go big or go home, and it's time to go
Your
home.
answer was
oh, good. I don't
question
know.
marks.
Yeah.
So there was no question marks there. So at this point, what did you wager for it?
I threw it all in.
You threw it all in, but we do not have it. So we are out, Steve. Marco, you are next in line. Let's see what Marco has written in. The global ASAX, you know what? In lack of other answers, I may count that one because it is a configuration of sorts.
At least it's
You know what?
exists.
It's in the root. It's in the root. So Steve didn't even name things in the roots. Robust duck text is also there. You know what? I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Let's see.
I would not
let's see how
consider
we go.
that a config. Well, it is a
Alessandra.
config file, right?
Alessandra.
Yeah.
No.
I love that.
You have the heart config. You have the heart. I'm sorry, I don't know what other config file.
Find in your heart to give me some points. No.
But you
Okay.
see, Alessandra, at this point, Marco has a good chance of winning his score because he at least mentioned something that was in the root. Jim, let's see what you have here. Do we have some config files which are in the root? Host config.
Hey, look at me. I know everything.
We do have a couple here, though. We have the DNN config, and I am going to give one solid good credit there for the DNN config. And at that point, we're in much better shape. So
yeah, I was trying to remember that one, and I couldn't. That's how bad it was.
I'm going to give
Just to be a little tedious, it's .NET nuke config, not DNN config.
Oh,
we have here.
valid.
We have
Scratch
the
it.
For now, yeah.
.NET
Analytics. That's what I
config.
was trying to remember.
You know what, Ryan?
.NET
You
new
should.
config.
Yeah.
We have
Look
the
at that.
log4net config. We have the site analytics, which you mentioned Google. I'll kind of give it to you there for site analytics. And we have the site URLs config. Those
That's
are
beautiful.
our 4 other items that are in there other than the web config file. So at that point, our winner for score is Team Lemon. That is Jim winning.
Wow.
Winning by a nose. Perhaps that lemon is bittersweet for Alessandra. She was hoping she would win this time. She did so much better at DNN Jeopardy.
I
think
even
that-
said questions.
I think she did a fantastic job this time.
It just has to be
And,
right now.
and
Hot.config. Remember, it's Christmas.
we have spent another hour together playing DNN Jeopardy, and I've had a fantastic time. And I thank everybody for indulging us and playing a bit of DNN Jeopardy. The last time that we played DNN Jeopardy was in 2021. So it's been a few years since we played DNN Jeopardy last. We've done $10,000 Pyramid and Family Feud a couple of times since. We'll have a DNN Jeopardy coming up at DNN Summit. So we'll have a chance to play again, all in person in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Ryan, I want to see a real Family Feud happen in person. That would be
I
awesome.
would love to have Family Feud in person.
Family
Maybe we should
Feud,
switch gear
it's
and do that.
amazing. I really had fun playing that.
Well, if you'll indulge
was
me one
really
more
cool.
time as the closeout for our holiday Christmas party. This is something that I did last in 2020, was the last time that I did this at a SoFri end of the year meeting. And it is that I had run across, unfortunately, I should have copied it. It's gone now. Even the Internet Archive doesn't have this, but there was a page on the forums, the ASP.NET forums, and it had in it your favorite DNN Christmas carols. And it had a collection of Christmas carols where people had replaced out words and they were singing things about modules and module developers of the day. And it was loads of fun. And I thought I would put one out there for a dramatic reading, a dramatic DNN end of the year holiday reading. Twas the last SoFri before Christmas. And so written in 2020, this still matches. This is not needed to be updated. I'm bringing it up from the DNN 2020 page. 'Twas the last SoFri before Christmas, a rest for all of us. Not a developer was coding, not even prolific Daniel Valadas. Pull requests, installs, and triage were organized in GitHub with care in hopes that new updates soon would be there. The DNN core team was still working on the DNN store, and David Poindexter was working on skinning some more. The developers were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of new file managers danced in their heads. With Mitchell in charge and flying in the blue, he had just settled down for a long code review. Written by moonlight, all of that new rendered code gets us all excited into new release mode, when what to our wondering eyes should appear but a promise of DNN 10 in the new year. The Southern Fried DNN User Group is here to give encouragement, and we all hope that 2025 is better by quite a good bit. Thinking of the future, we exclaim, make DNN 10 out of sight. Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Nice, very nice.
Thank you for indulging me in that.
We have to make a 12 days of DNN.
You can do that one
now.
next year. Sounds good.
I'm gonna work on it.
You can do the singing. We'll do the auto tuning.
Oh no, you do not want that. Mind you, I'll go to karaoke. I will sing, but I apologize before I sing every time because it's kind of.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us here for the December 2024 Southern Fried DNN User Group meeting. We've had some fun. We've shared some information about new releases and important information. We've reminded you to please go purchase tickets and purchase your travel plans for DNN Summit in Las Vegas for next year. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, for playing this back on the replay or joining us here in person. We've appreciated having you. Remember, 2025 is going to be what you make it. If you'd love to see topics presented here in Southern Fried DNN User Group, send David or I some notes in any ways that you would like to share information with us. We will take those into account and try and put together future sessions. If you'd like to speak and present, if you know someone you'd like to speak and have them present, let us know that information and we will reach out to you and make it happen in 2025.
Big round of applause for Ryan Trevek.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It's a lot of fun to hang out here with all of you, and there's no place I'd rather be here as we finish out the year. Thank you very much to everyone in the DNN community. Thank you to DNN itself for being the thing that I built my business on years ago. Thank you most of all to all of us who've created some really good lifelong friendships. I appreciate all of you. Thank you much. Good night, all.
Good night to
See you in
all.
Vegas.
All a good
Good
night.
Night.
See you in Vegas. DNN Summit
You in
2025.
Vegas.
Woo-hoo!